You are now watching For All Nerds, and on this episode, we talk about AI music. Is it inevitable or inexcusable?
Both of them. And what's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. It's your boy, DJ Benhameen, aka Lightwork Yagami, Quantum Leech, a baby Max. Big Dick Grayson Energy, back in the spaceship. As always, I am joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Princess Preach, Flex Luthor, Glorilla Rod, Gucci Mandalorian, Fax the Destroyer, Doc Aki, Coldest Winter Soldier ever, and the Ting of the North.
Hey, Baymax. I had to bring that back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
stupid.
Springtime. That song always reminds me of spring, summer. So, you know what I mean? Had to bring that back. Yes, it is spring. It almost summer. It's hot as hell in New York, and then it's cold some days. Like, spring does not want to go away, but we are here back on For All Nerds Show. How y'all doing out there? Hope everyone's having a beautiful day, beautiful week, all of that good stuff.
Yeah. I was trying to wait until we got at least a minute into the intro so I wouldn't get flagged for this, but Earth is saying, F y'all. Okay. Get the fuck off of me. That's what this is about. Okay. Global warming is real. It's a challenge. And it's going to get worse.
Well, damn. I mean, in the spirit of Chico Leo, I feel like that got depressing real quick. Jesus.
Welcome to the show, guys.
I was trying to start off with we already had a pre-show full of depression. I didn't need the whole show to continue on.
It's supposed to be real. Let's be real.
Darkness is spreading. You know what I mean?
It has to be real. Tell you the truth.
Yikes.
I always tell you guys the truth, even when I lie.
Scarface quote. All right. Well, yeah, welcome to For All Nerds Show, where we are giving it to you raw and real.
Give it to us raw and wriggling.
Hey, yo! I could get a sound effect. But yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. And thank you once again for joining us on the show. A lot to talk about this week in the world going on. Look, man.
Well, the first thing, I'll tell you what I really want to talk about first, because this is the most pressing, important thing to me, at least in fandom.
Okay.
Next week, Ironheart is coming out. June 24th at 9 p.m. Eastern. The way I need everybody to rally behind Dominique Thorne, the way I need the fandom to rise up and push this to the top, act like it's Black Panther Jr. Stop fucking playing. I am dead ass. If y'all didn't see yet, please go to our YouTube right now, or you could go to any of our socials right now where you can see I actually got to speak to Miss Dominique Thorne herself, Miss Riri Williams, as we know it or will know it next week. And she gave me, first of all, a lovely, really quick, but lovely conversation. And we would love to have her on to talk more. But she gave us a background of just how important Riri is to the MCU. We got to know a little bit more about her personally. She's really cool. She's mad cool. And because she's such a mad cool person, you know that she's coming with the real. She's coming with the flavor with this, which means we have to back her up. Okay, fandom? We have to do this. Okay, fandom, fanboys, fangirls, fan peoples. We have to step up.
Fan blacks. Let's keep it buck.
I want all the fans.
Yeah, but this is how it works. Black people do something, everyone else follows along.
The blacks. Yeah,
but you're
whatever.
Black.
Listen, it's so important because this is a pivotal character in the MCU. Like, I see Riri, and really that's what they're doing with all of the younger quote versions of a lot of the heroes that you've grown and loved on the first iteration. And to me, it's like the way I see the MCU, how when it started, it was the millennials, and right now we in Gen Z times, okay? And, the millennials is like, a lot of them is like, I retired. I'm out this hole, right? Like, Tony Stark, gone. Captain America, gone. Like, unfortunately, Black Panther, gone. Until it gets redone. Maybe Damson Idris will take that. Who knows? He was actually on a Today Show, and they hinted at it. And it was like, did you have conversations about being Black Panther? And he said, yes, no, and laughed. And then when the host was like, yes, no means yes, Damson was like, well, you don't know that. Like this playing stupid. And then the host said, well, if they asked you, would you consider? And Damson said yes, which means he's had some sort of conversation.
Wow. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Right.
I really like Damson.
I wouldn't be mad at that at all. For all that to say, the reason why I'm bringing all that up is because the MCU is being rebooted now. We've already.
Okay. And that way. Go ahead. Yeah, no, not to cut you off, but that whole, this is a lot of speculation that after Secret Wars, the MCU will be rebooted. And I'm really kind of like, interested, I guess is the word, and what people think that means. Because I want to know, like,
what do you think that means?
I don't think it's going to happen, or not in the way that people think it's going to happen.
Let's start with the premise of the definition. What do you think? Besides, what is it that you don't think is going to happen?
Retelling the stories that we've already seen.
Okay, so let me rephrase then. When I say reboot, I'm not
what you're saying
retelling.
is a different thing. What you're saying is a continuation, a new generation.
Correct.
But there's people who believe, because in the actual comic book, especially in the more recent Secret Wars, at the end of it, it actually was the end of like the Marvel universe from the comics from like 1963. I think they first started publishing, because up until that time, Marvel had never had like a crisis like DC where they rebooted the whole universe. Like DC in the comics, God damn, this turn long. Back in the 80s, had this event called Crisis on Infinite Earths. When it ended, they restarted all the comics. Like there was a new Superman #1, a new Wonder Woman #1, new Green Lantern, etc.
To summarize, they restarted.
Yeah. And they all restarted. Boom. And that's happened, sadly, multiple times since then in DC history. Like they rebooted their universe.
It's happened in the DCEU. It's happened in every. I mean, we are all
true indeed.
well aware. and actually, maybe reboot is the wrong word, because a lot of people think that reboot is literally which it is, I guess, by definition. It's retelling of the same story with just a slightly different spin on it, different actor. Just why you have 20 million Batmans. They're all technically reboots. Okay,
there we go. Yep.
Fine. I'm not talking about a reboot. I'm talking about a regen.
Passing the torch.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. A lot of people think that it will happen after Secret Wars, and that's how we'll get a new Black Panther. And I don't believe Marvel would do that.
They're not going to do the same story again.
Yeah,
guys.
I do not see us doing the Infinity Saga again. That would seem really corny to me.
Besides being corny, let's put our personal thoughts away. It wouldn't make sense. It would not make sense in the context of what we know of the MCU now, which is essentially this fragmented thing in a multitude of universes. They're not going to do the same story again. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and monetarily, I don't think
that's what I mean. I said, let's get emotion out of it.
Yeah, monetarily, I don't think it makes sense.
Capitalistically, it doesn't make sense. It's not going to drive dollars. It's not built in the same way that the DCEU was, where it's just like it drives dollars to do the same Batman story 50 times. It was never built on that premise. So why would that work now?
And from going forward, as long as James Gunn is in control of DC, I don't think,
and that's not going to right.
I don't think they're going to be rebooting their universe anytime soon.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
but as mentioned, like I mentioned with Damson, we're going to see the next gen of these characters.
And now that would be the interesting, like, because of that Damson, because of his age, literally in real life, he's younger, so he's younger than the current cast of Black Panther. So if they were like gonna do a new Black Panther, that'll just be interesting.
My thing is, you have all the players basically there or about to be announced. Miss Marvel's already there. Hawkeye Jr. is already there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. That's just how I remember, girl.
I mean, she's really just. I know. Yeah, because we got
Sinners Jr. is Hawkeye's.
Sinners Hawkeye. Sinners Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is here.
Hawkeye.
Like I said, America.
Spitmouth Hawkeye.
I don't know if your girl America's coming back anytime soon, but
oh goddamn.
Sorry,
I saw something that they somehow do have interest in bringing her back. So hey.
Do you see, like, when you think like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, even though that's in an animated sense, that character still exists within the realms. Like And they pick and choose about who they decide to pluck out of animation into live action and vice versa. So it's fair game.
Oh, that man ain't getting plucked. Not after that actor made them statements.
Oh, I'm not talking about the voice actor of Peter Parker. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the character.
It's just like
you might see Pearl pop up somewhere.
It's
That's
just
what
like
my
what's
point
his
is.
name? Who does the voice of Miles? They never playing Miles in real life either.
Well, he can't be nowhere near Sinner's Hawkeye because that's a problem. So let's not go there.
I somehow feel that relates to a lot of people and not just Sinner's Hawkeye.
Yikes! Talk about
I feel like that's a that's a him problem, not a them problem.
It's a him problem because he's not invited to the anymore.
I don't feel like it's I don't feel like it's other people.
Yeah. The table is set, and all that to say, to bring it back to what the original point was, which is the table is set for a fucking party, and we have to
guess who's joining that party?
Ironheart Riri Williams. Okay, y'all want some Iron Man iron suit realness? Here you go. Like we're like literally the stuff you want to see is coming. So, and I'm not talking to the haters. I'm talking to the people who are just like, well, I wonder. That's all I need from you. I wonder. You wonder? Go watch it. June 24th.
Haters don't be mad.
Haters should watch it.
Yeah.
Just to say they watched it and to give at least the 1 minute, 30 seconds required or whatever it is to count as a view. To be honest with you. So I'm just saying I'm probably going to promote this every single day until the day that comes out, and then we'll continue to promote it because this is just that important. It is that important that, as mentioned, we support Dominique. It's that important that we support this new character, that we support the entryway of this new character. You got to see a glimpse of this character in Wakanda Forever, but you didn't get to see the story of this character. You didn't get to see her intro and how she came to be. And that's what I am so excited to see.
And I want to say some more. I mean, one, I second everything Tatiana said. Make sure y'all go watch that interview with Dominique Thorne that Tatiana did. Fantastic job in the quite short time
we had, but I got it.
Man, you did the work, and thank you for doing that because I know people do not understand how these press junkets go, and what Tatiana pulled off for that one was applaud her. Please hit the applause sound effects right now, Luna, because she surely deserves it. If you know, you know. And on that point, I actually had to make what wrap it up, B. Them niggas come in with that hitting that button on you. Wrap it up, B. You see the button, right, B? Yo, B.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Wrap it up. Yeah.
It's hard out here, y'all. But anyway, I'm sorry, Ben. I just as you said, they don't know what we go through, but go ahead.
Yes, they will never understand. But no, I had to make a response video because in general, and not just to our video on YouTube, but it was started by that. Once we posted it, immediately we got our usual love, from our supporters. Thank you to the fam, everyone out there, and make sure everyone subscribes on YouTube as well. All that good stuff. Hit that like button, everything like that. But then there was a lot of hate. And it goes back to something I saw when the trailer first for Ironheart dropped and everybody had been waiting on it forever. I go to YouTube a few hours after it dropped, and the first video I saw next to the trailer was somebody hating on it. And I'm like, damn, normally I don't see that. I see a Fantastic Four trailer, it'll be like 3 or 4 people next to it like, oh, this is the best trailer ever, But then for Ironheart, it's like, this sucks.
Know why, right?
And I do know why. And that's what I addressed in my video. It's like people hate to see black women shining. That was basically the premise of my video. And it's whack and weak. And I have a problem with it. And so that's what I addressed in the video because I'm just really tired of it. And even myself, and I say this in the video, when I saw the trailer, I was like, I was pretty whelmed. If I said in our review of the trailer that it felt like, 10 years ago Marvel, which is classic peak Marvel. But at the same time, it felt like stuff I'd seen before. You know what I mean? And I was kind of like, damn, I want to see something fresh, for Ironheart. I need more from my girl. This is like, as I said, I'm starting to get that Monica Rambeau feeling and, or the one you just mentioned, America Chavez. And, that hurt me. I was hurt, y'all, by The other day I rewatched Civil War, still fantastic. I was thinking about watching Shang-Chi, but I'm like, some of that. I started watching it, actually. It wasn't bad. And I was like, maybe I should rewatch Doctor Strange. And I was like, what am I thinking?
What, Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. And I actually liked parts of it, but I remember what they did to my girl. And I was really rethinking about watching Love and Thunder, and then I was like, I'm smoking too much good weed.
Now you OD.
I know. And that's wild, but it's like, because I've rewatched all the more and I can't bring myself to do it.
You would have been fine doing Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I think I'll do Multiverse of
Madness. Where I have to do intervention is when you just said Love and Thunder. Like,
all right, I won't do that one again. But that being said, that was my problem with the trailer. And I cannot say anymore because I am under, what they call an NDA. And that's something else I can say, though. I do have an issue with how Marvel is marketing this. And I've seen a lot of people talking about that. And one thing I do want to address about that part is like, people are kind of upset that they're releasing 3 episodes one week and then 3 episodes the next, and then it's done.
Because there's only 6 episodes total.
It's only 6 episodes total. And I don't agree with... I'm not sure if I think that Marvel could stretch it out.
I don't agree with the release schedule because I don't think it interferes, at least publicly, with what's going on with Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So I understood, like for example, what was it? Daredevil, where out of the 500 episodes, it was 12, but out of the 500 episodes of this season, that
ended up being 9. Remember, I thought 8. Yeah,
but the reason why I mentioned the number of episodes because it ended kind of unceremoniously, but they made it end right before, was it Andor or whatever? They made it end right before the next big thing on Disney Plus.
Okay, that's the thing. Is there something else coming on Disney Plus? Like, because I know it's not just Marvel. Is there? I know there ain't no Star Wars.
It has to be a big Star Wars thing. I don't know. Not Mandalorian.
No, that ain't coming back.
Frozen, the hit musical on Broadway. Like, I
don't know. Maybe it's something. Maybe I don't
Phineas
know.
And Ferb. Yeah. I know that's not it.
I don't know. We don't get it. And
so I agree with you. I don't agree with this release schedule if it's only 6 episodes, and unless it's interfering with something we just don't know of yet, which is a high potential. Who knows? What is the problem? Because I know back in the day, they would want to avoid summertime type releases because people were not in front of their TVs. They were on vacation. They was outside. They was doing whatever.
Well, there's that. And I think that might be part of
it. Still a thing now?
Yes.
When people are mobile?
Definitely. Because, but
are
still.
You sure?
I don't know. I mean, okay, maybe not as much, but you also got to remember the people making these decisions are still old school, other than the computers making the decisions. And the computers are still going to go by the, numbers that they've been fed from before. So that would probably incline them to say that, and also you got to remember the summer is still reserved for the big movies. Like, even though they're not competing with, they don't want to take eyes away from Fantastic Four, obviously.
Yeah.
But they also know Superman is going to come and take our eyes and thoughts away from everything.
Yes. And that could be a reason,
and there's and they know the release of these summer movies, so that's something they're thinking about as well.
Yeah, like Superman comes out July 8th, which is a week later. So that's I can see them like to your point, not wanting to kind of cross pollinate that.
You would not want to because Superman's trying to eat up all the social attention. So you want it and. Can't say no more.
That's honestly. So we're talking about 3 episodes next week and 3 episodes the week of the 30th. Then the week after that, July 8th, that's when Superman comes out.
Yeah, no, smart. They're geniuses. And I can't say no more than that.
I still am just like, damn, I wish y'all, even all that being said, I'm still mad about it because my thing is, remember, it got moved around a lot of times too. It was never supposed to come out this time of day in this time of year.
Again, I can't say anything, but I don't understand that either.
It was never, but you can't talk about what I'm saying, which is this is common knowledge. Like, it was been supposed to come out.
I know, and I don't understand that either. That's what I'm saying. I can't say why I don't understand that, but I don't understand that. I do not understand that at all. Now, the release schedule as it is right now, when it's coming out, I fully understand and I actually fully appreciate. And I can say this because I saw somebody saying that, oh no, because of that, it's going to disappear off of, people talking about it. It won't.
Ironheart won't disappear?
Oh no, niggas gonna be talking about this shit till the rest of the year.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. Okay. Well, you're gonna have to save that, Ben. I mean, this is not the episode for that. But,
yeah, well, that's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
Okay, but
it will not, it's gonna be fine.
Since I mentioned Superman, that reminds me of a quote that I read. Rachel Brosnahan, excuse me. Brosnahan. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. When you wrote that, I was like, is she related to my man's?
Right, Brosnan. Yeah. I'm like, oh, wait. Taken?
Pierce?
That's even the same. Pierce? That's not even the same person, but anyways.
No, wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
They all look alike. No, joking.
I know them clampets do not look alike.
What I was trying to say was,
and Rachel also you can't put Pierce in with that racist.
What I was trying to say was Rachel Brosnahan, who was playing Lois Lane in James Gunn's Superman. She basically was telling everybody who's been in a comic book movie who's now talking shit about it, they need to shut the fuck up. Her exact words were, "I don't know why people say yes to a project only to then turn around and complain about it." Then she say, "Look, I don't want to shit on other actors." She said shit on other actors, but there was a minute where it was cool to not like superhero movies and to look back on projects like this was poo-poo to them. She said, "Do it or don't do it and then stand by it." And then, like, right after, I don't know if this is, shade from the Variety or shade from her.
I read that.
They talked about Chris Hemsworth talking to GQ about Love and Thunder and saying, I got caught up in the improv and the wackiness and I came a parody of myself. Like he was, like while he was doing it, it was all good in the hood. And then later on, when people's not fucking with it, he's just like, yeah, maybe it was bad. But it's just like, so she's just like stand on business no matter what. I'm like, you can change your mind.
I think because they were also talking about in that same article about people like Dakota Johnson who shit like very hard on Madam Web afterwards.
Because she knew it was trash.
Yeah, but see it? But you took the script and you knew that script was trash.
I don't know, because remember, that's not exactly how it went, right? Wasn't it not always trash in the beginning, or it would have different hopes and a different thing going on, and then it morphed out of control?
I've often
said, and you're already like contracted to it. So what are you gonna do?
Before I worked in the business like directly, I often wondered about that. I was like, yo, do people know they're making trash when they're making trash? And having worked in the business, I would say yes. You don't know if it's like, I don't think you know if it's classic as much until it comes out, but you will know if something's shaky. Like when I worked on American Gods, there's episodes I thought were great, that we had plotted out and everything. I didn't, they weren't fully done, but just the plot was great. And there are other ones where I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work out.
Dakota said it wasn't my fault in relation to Madam Web flopping.
That's probably true.
This is a thing that happens now where a lot of creative decisions are made by committee or made by people who don't have creative bone in their body. And it was really hard to make art that way. So, which is why I'm just like, I don't blame her for shitting on it.
God damn, though. Like I
don't blame her for shitting on it because she probably can. And to your point about like, oh, well, you could read a script and no. Yeah, sure. If
it was up to that last line I was with her. She had me in the first half.
I don't think what she came in with was what it ended up as. So she probably went in with thinking something was, as mentioned, good in the hood. And it morphed into something real bad.
Nigga.
Tight bad.
You have seen all the Sony Spider-Verse films. How did you ever think they were going to suddenly
start give hitting? Way too much credit to people because how do you know Dakota Johnson seen all the Spider-Verse?
No, I know she hasn't. But that's on her.
Spider-Man
that's
films.
On her. That's on her.
Okay, but
there's been like several Venoms.
You think she's wrong for saying that? You think she's wrong for shitting on the movie now?
It was up to that last line she had me because the last line was like, really disrespectful to a lot of people who might have a lot more creative bones in their body than her. That was like, there are, script writers, like, yes, a lot of these people, I know who she's talking about. She's about studio heads and stuff like that.
So if you know what she's talking about, then let's not go to the stuff
But
why are you doing that? You know who she's talking about. You just said it. She's not being disrespectful. She's not talking about the creatives. She literally said the people who don't. She said, I don't like pancakes. She didn't say fuck waffles. You understand? Like, let's react to what she said, which was people who don't have creative bone in their body. That was the situation she was in. They fucked her shit up, and she was too damn bad.
Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I cannot.
Man, you give too much credit, and I'm telling you, I do feel, and you know this, even as a writer, that shit don't end. So a lot of times, shit don't end up the way you came into it.
No, it doesn't.
So I think she got set up, and then she was like, fuck, I'm contractually obligated to sell this shit.
I'm really gonna have to watch Madam Web.
No, you don't. My brother in Christ. No, you don't.
Life is too short.
Life is too short for that shit. But listen. I had mentioned this quote from her for a reason.
Yeah, and I also wanted to go back to the Chris Hemsworth part of that because that confirms my suspicion that film was done by cocaine.
Could be.
Allegedly.
And that's why they was having a great time and was talking. And he wasn't shit on it while it was happening. It was
because that cocaine
when the high came down.
Yeah.
When the high came down, I was like, oh, wait, this was bad. So all that to say, I wonder like how y'all feel, the people listening. Like, do you think like if people are going to do the superhero movie, just do it and don't shit on it later? Or can you be like, oh, I feel like people can change their mind. Like, nigga, I made a mistake, you know? And when I say that, I don't mean it in a downing type way. Like when you're just like she said, like this lady said, Rachel said, back in the day, people used to do that about comic book movies. They used to try to make
I don't
it
think
like
people do that anymore.
they try to belittle it, and I'm just like, bro, don't belittle it because niggas don't belittle it now because it makes money.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If
you're belittling, then I have a problem. But if it's just like, you know what, that shit wasn't really good. That shit really was trash. That's fine. You're allowed to change your mind.
Yeah, that's like, I don't mind that side of it. Like, I've talked about it before. Michael Caine's famous quote was, I think it's for Piranha 2. And they're like, have you ever seen him film? And he's like, no, but I saw the house it bought. Mm-hmm. You know, like, yeah, no, I know that's just garbage. You know, it's Piranha 2. But, you know, bought me that crib, nigga. Like,
and actually, this says Superman opens. I said the 8th earlier. This says it opens July 11th. So maybe the critics get to see it on the 8th. But
yeah, no, but they are still, that, like I say, still genius for Ironheart release. That's still.
Yeah, you got to get it. You got to get out
the way of that monster.
Yeah, no.
Because good or bad, that is going to eat up. You know, like
it's not good.
No, I'm talking about Superman.
I know, and I'm saying that situation is not good for her to be stuck in the eclipse of Superman, which is why they had to do the 2-week release.
Definitely not.
But they wouldn't have to have done a 2-week release if it didn't come out when it did.
Well, such is life. But they would have had to do a 2-week release for something because that's the other thing. Ironheart does not have the cultural, cachet to like pull that off. Like,
how many episodes did Miss Marvel have? And how long did it take? Was it every week?
It was every week, but
and was you could say, oh, that was a different time. That was 2-3 years ago.
There was nothing else. Yeah, there was nothing else during those weeks. This shit, like you're right. It probably should not be coming out during summertime if you wanted to release weekly, But it's also a different time. They didn't release Daredevil weekly. We saw how that ended. It was like,
And there's been some narrative changes in the MCU. So
yeah. So I'm not, look, I'm not gonna really, I'm more wondering, and we can say this, like, we won't even be able to discuss this up until day before, which is different for, like, that's usually not the case for a lot of, properties in general.
You get a large runway, and
especially with the social runway, usually get a, like the review runway. I understand day before, especially for a property like this, where there's to be a lot of hateful reviews, just because people just want to hate.
Yeah, and they're trying to and in some way they're trying to protect it because it's just like you don't want the hateful stuff just sitting there festering, fucking up the review score either.
Also, I think it's because of some of the shit that happens in the show, and they don't want people saying it. And now I kind of get it. Yeah, I do kind of get it. Yep. All right. Moving on. We will be dropping a review, as usual, and our social thoughts when we are able. So make sure you're following on all those different channels because it will be quite close to release date when we're able to fully speak on this show. And Tatiana and I are both extremely excited to talk about the show. I'm already working on the all-star review of Ironheart, so that'll be coming as well. A lot of stuff coming for the show. Shout out to the Cougars, man. Y'all batting 1,000 this year, boy. Fucking out the park.
Fuck with Ryan.
I'm fucking hyped for that Agents of Wakanda now. Like,
yeah.
And they've been talking, cash shit on the low, and I love it. They like every time I've seen somebody working on this show, they're like, "Oh, we got something for y'all."
So you mentioned Ryan. Did you hear I don't know how true this is, word on the street that it's probably true, it's evil, that since for the first 25 years they own the rights, how WB is thinking about making a sequel to it, and even without Ryan, because Ryan has already said publicly he's not interested in any sequel. Rightfully the internet went up in flames on that because they was like, fuck you.
I know you listen to the show, you watching the show, you're enjoying the show, you loving For All Nerds. So why haven't you told your friends about it? Why haven't you told your fam about it? Why haven't you told your foes about it? Let them know about For All Nerds. And while you're at it, make sure you hit those subscribe buttons on YouTube because you're watching us right now. You're seeing our beautiful melanated faces. You're loving all of this gloriousness right now. So stop watching and lurking. Hit the subscribe button. Follow. Join the fan. We love you for it. Thank you so much for all the support. Boom. I don't believe it's true only because the way socials work and the way that WB has seen the reaction to, this film.
Yeah. It's one of two things. It's just one of the random aggregators that make up shit up.
Yep.
That just, made an image, which is what they do, and run with it. And then it's just fodder for conversation. Like the one we're having now. Or some executive actually sat down on the low to somebody and then someone just threw it out there in the ether and it just snowballed.
It could be the same thing. It could be both. It could be some executive leads it to some random aggregator because they want to see what the reaction would be.
Well, I wonder if this idea would fly. You're right, Ben.
Yep.
It could be both. You're right.
Mm-hmm. And I think they tested the waters and saw, hell no, that will not work.
I think the waters is too hot.
Yeah, the waters would be very hot. It'd be boiling.
The hell to the nah. I would not support nothing Sinners related without the blessing or backing or leadership of Ryan Coogler.
Yeah. And no one would. Like, I remember when I saw, and this is another one of those fake images you talk about, like where they had him standing on the stage with the Sinners universe behind him, like how Faggy does. Yeah. And I saw it for a second. I was like, word? And then I had to Google and I'm like, nah, it's fake as fuck.
No, it's fake.
Yeah, because I was like, nigga, for real?
You just told you not.
And you just told me it ain't happening.
Nah.
I'm like, bro, for real? And so, yeah, that's what I mean. I can't see it. And I'm not interested in seeing it without him.
Facts.
I am interested in seeing everything this brother does from here to the end of eternity, Like I say, I'm super hyped for Ages of Wakanda now. Where before I was just slightly hyped. Now I'm like, okay, no. Yeah. All the way in.
Another thing I'm not interested in seeing, and this is very controversial, for me. I am not, mostly am not interested in AI created quotes. And I use that very loosely, the word create, because AI creates nothing. It just regurgitates what's been said. But when AI creates quote music, that's a very much hell no for me.
Yeah.
While there may be some exceptional, very small reasons or excuses why it may be helpful in some way, or outliers that have yet to be defined. For example, King Melonius. That's actually a friend of mine who did BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy, right? The song.
Yeah,
and he created all that. One's hard, and that's why I say this is very controversial even for me because he's in a gray area, right? The thing about AI, right? We're wild west right now with AI. There's no
for that what he's singing and then used one of those voice things to get it to sing.
He wrote all the lyrics.
Yeah, and then
did the prompts and to the AI. I forgot what AI service he uses, but he did all the prompts and created
to where it's saying the BBL Drizzy type thing,
like basically say, hey, do I don't know what his prompt was, but this is my paraphrasing.
Yeah, do a soul
do a
type
Motown approach to this, whatever it was, right?
Somebody singing BBL Drizzy,
right, and then he edits whatever he needs to edit, and then here it is. So, which is why I said that AI in general is just,
and that's what Wayne did on his first song on the Welcome to the Carter on the Carter 6 has, from what I understand, the voice singing the chorus is AI.
And AI is is wild west right now. There is no real legislation controlling it. There are wishful thinking about how to deal with it, but it's not regulated right now. And this is what makes it so hard for, like, the example I just gave about King Melonius, how it's such a gray area where it's like, well, this is someone who really is creating, someone who really is writing, but then he's using the AI as a tool to mix and create something new. However, the AI in and of itself, which is a misnomer, AI isn't intelligent. This is not the AI that
limited learning machine.
This is a machine that is fed human creativity, human existence, human thought, and then it uses very complex math to mix it all together. You know that guy on IG that does the New York, stuff. Like that's what they do. That's what the box does. Okay. You throw a bunch of data into it that belongs to other people and mixes it all together and then approximates what it thinks should be a human output.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. So imagine my disgust when I see and find out and read and dive deep into the situation that's happening with Timbaland. Timbaland, I've always respected deeply as a producer, deeply as a music artist, just deeply as a creative.
Stop me on the last one.
Okay.
You had me in the first half.
That's fine. This is about me. I've always like had him on, in very high regard. And then this shit happens where Timbaland, like he's backing this big AI situation, like an AI, music label. And he does a few things. One, he unveils an AI, which is an Asian, quote, pop singer named Tata. And it's not a real person, okay? It's a Asian presenting AI that does pop music. A young Asian woman at that. And what they said that is Timbaland Studio records a demo, uploads the audio to Suno, which is the AI production. And then Suno expands on the arrangement and melody with human songwriters adding lyrics. And then it spits out a song, a completed song, I guess, if you want to say. And in some ways, like I said, this is the gray area. You could just be like, all right, well, they're mixing in their own creativity with tech to make something new. But the problem is, as I mentioned, this quote AI, it was built on theft to begin with. A lot of this AI is trained on human music, meaning music that was made by us for us, right? And no permission was given for this to happen. So this approximation output that it's giving, this new music is really just lots of times bits and pieces of others people's music that did not give permission for this to be used in the first place. So that's when you look at it like, okay, well, wait, is this truly original and something new, or is this highway robbery? And it's been a very sensitive topic for many years now, and is even getting deeply more sensitive because people are being touched directly. The main thing about this is literally Timbaland was unveiling a beat, and the producer of that beat, his name's K Fresh, he was informed that there is a part on that beat that Timbaland used Suno to make. It has the producer's tag in it.
Oh shit.
Literally, and I gotta see what the name of the user was because I want to. The TikTok creator is the one who discovered. Okay, excuse me. Hey Fresh Music is the producer, and someone else. There was another TikToker that actually made it known. I actually had an interview with K Fresh, and they were like, "Did you know about this?" And K Fresh said, "Nah, people kept sending it to me, and he doesn't know what to think about it." Literally, Timbaland's playing the beat, and you listening to the beat, and it's just like, and the guy, he's like, "Well, that sounds familiar." Another one, it was one of his beats from a few years ago. I think many years ago, I think at this point, where you can literally hear the same beat cadence and his producer tag in it. Bar for bar.
Some of my thoughts on it is that, first of all, like why I said, that you had me in the first half with Timbaland, is that I wasn't disappointed in this from Timbaland, is because it's what I expect from Timbaland.
Oh, I didn't know. I should have known better.
Oh yeah, you should have known better. Versuz is when I think that was my not last straw, because like I said, I think when I talk about production genius, he is just one of the all-time greatest to me. If not, I don't like putting people on that, GOAT, this is the best. He's just one of the greatest, he is a genius mind producer, and just has contributed so much to music in so many ways. I mean, I always talk about this, people you got to go back to Jodeci Diary of a Mad Band, the second Jodeci album, because he ghost produces a lot of it. And there was a song on there, I'll never forget, Missy's on it. And it's like the first time I ever heard it, me and my boy were just like, yo, what the flying fuck is this? Because it just sounded so different. And it starts off with this one beat, and Missy's chanting this little rap on it. And then that stops, and a whole nother beat starts. And that was one of the first times I'd heard that on a, hip hop-ish R&B production, which is standard now, sicko mode, where it's 3 different beats on the song. But that was like one of the first times I was like, who the fuck is this? And then a couple of years later, the Rain, down the line. And man, it's fucking genius. But like I say, with Versuz, he took something that was a community cultural thing that him and Swiss had full ownership of. And both of these people are complete multimillionaires. They will never want for a dollar in their lives. And they sold it.
Yeah. They sold it and completely disintegrated any type of cultural cachet that was really what and
it's gone now.
The crux. And now it doesn't exist, right?
Does not exist.
Now it doesn't even exist. And they made a buck out of it, right? That's literally what they did. They made the buck and moved on. And I understand Versuz was like a flash in time too, because it was based off pandemic times, but damn.
It could have been here forever. There's no excusing that. But they went for the money. And that's like I was saying. So And Swizz, I've always known, is a money person, and I get that, it's not okay to be a capitalist. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to make money, but when you are hoarding millions upon millions, it just becomes like, for what, dude? And then when you do moves like that, he's had a lot of, whatever moves to me in his life. I think Swizz and Tim are both genius musicians, but when you sold out Versuz, that was it. And then this is like, you know what I mean? This is just one of them, like, what the fuck? And all right, as a producer myself, I have used things like there's this I have a plugin where you can type in a text prompt like make these drums sound like Dr. Dre 2001 drums. And it'll be like, well, now I've applied this type of reverb and this type of reverb to it to make it sound like 2001 drums. Now, if your drums ain't hitting like Dr. Dre's drums are hitting, I don't care what reverb you put to it. It ain't going to hit like 2001 drums.
I think that's so weird. You know why? To pass it off as your own, though. Like,
no, that is like, but that's just like applying the sound of something. Now,
you mean like you're okay.
Like, no, I have my own drum and I'm like on this drum, put some reverb and some, other effects on it to make it sound like the Dre drums from 2001. That's just mixing technique.
Okay.
Now, I've also used this other thing where it's like, I'll play a bass line, like do. And you put it into this program and you can put different rhythms to it, where it'll make that bass line, different sound, different. It'll have different complete melodies, all kind of shit. But it's still like what you input into it first. Yes. Now, the only difference that is eventually where you get into the day where you can be like, yo, computer, do. And now fuck that up, and I'll probably be the one who's using that.
And that's why I mean, where's
it still comes from your own thought process.
And that's why I mean, why I'm like, it's a gray area because it's like, while I'm mostly against it, I also see the applications. There are applications where I'm just like, okay, if it's truly coming straight from you and you're using it as a, like similar to a synthesizer, similar to a MIDI machine, similar to all this stuff. If you're using it, you speak into the mic and then you modulate your voice, like you're using technology to generate, right? Then that's different to me. And I don't necessarily see a problem. But then when the AI entered this picture, that's why I'm just like,
because like what Sono and what they're trying to get to is like and eventually it'll be talk, but right now it's just text. You write in, make me a deep house song, with this type of feel. And that's when that's like really weird to me. Or like made me a hip hop beat that sounds like Timbaland. Like that's weird.
Do you think that's just not enough level of like, and that's probably also why like this is so hard to define, because at what point, like say AI is utilized, at what point is it become acceptable? Is there any point that it becomes acceptable? Is as soon as you're using AI, that shit not for real no more? Is it like, well, 45% of it was me, so I could say that that's truly
and then that
original.
Goes to like people would say the same thing about, I mean, that's most music, right? Because people will always call out hip hop for sampling. But like the majority of music is based on other people's chords, etc. People reuse chords, speed them up, slow them down, do all kind of things. It's like that type of thing. So,
and also this is kind of neither here nor there, but Swizz and Timbaland actually bought Versuz back. They bought the rights. They bought the ownership back to themselves. They reacquired it last year.
Yeah, and they ain't done shit since.
To do a partnership with X. So they
God.
Right. I'm like, nigga, like y'all just keep going from bad to worse.
Yeah, it's like, why not just own it yourselves? put it out like y'all been putting it out, like
money. And you're right that like I should have known better when it came to Timbaland, because it's that just Aaliyah like shit. It was. Well, there was two more things that he did. Like, damn. when he and it was like, and this is going back to again when he first revealed that he had the AI music label, Suno and all that stuff. Suno. So he said, yeah, this is my shit, right? So he put it out there, and honestly and understandably, the internet was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you're Timbaland. You're supposed to be the king of creativity that don't need no machine. And here you go pushing this shit that a lot of people know is just theft, right? In many ways. And this nigga, his response was him or his team or a combination thereof created an AI video response.
Oh, God. It was
just like anthropomorphic animals, like talking shit to the internet. Like, oh, y'all got a problem with the AI, sucks to be you. And then he played Crimea River in the background.
Yeah. The one was
when
when the little otter was like, who am I kidding? I knew I never had any bars. Like, that was like so.
Like, he was literally mocking everybody. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm like, you have no empathy.
No.
And no compassion. And that's why I'm just like, I should have fucking known.
Yes.
I should have fucking known. Like, it was so fucked up and so disrespectful to like the very people who got you where you are.
Yes.
It was just such a crazy type of double down response to me. And then the second part of this whole thing, which is, as mentioned, he do this. Oh, and then, when that producer said, hey, Tim, like someone brought that up to Tim. I think he said it on like a TikTok live or something. Tim was like, the mental gymnastics this man did to say that it wasn't the same beat. That he was just rearranging things and this and that. Like, it was just lie after lie, like to justify what he did and tried to say, nah, it's not the same beat. And we are all like, bruh, we see this, we hear it. It's the same thing. The guy and then the part about it, Timbaland was lying, talking about, oh, I told him, oh, you should hit up Ghostface. This sounds like a Ghostface beat. Ghostface wants that beat. K-Fresh, the producer, said, I have Ghostface's number. Ghostface has my number. We know each other. Ghostface never hit me up about this beat. So I'm like, you looking funny in the light, Tim.
I mean, but he already looked funny when he was on the live with our brother Young Guru, and Guru is explaining to him how AI, like we say, I don't even like using that word because it's not intelligent at all.
Right.
How the copy machine is trained.
And Guru was in the comment section on all of them posts. I was in those posts.
Oh no, he did.
He was trying to help. He was like, Timbaland, this is not the way.
No, he did a video live with him where he was on it with him, and Timbaland is trying to explain, because Timbaland doesn't even know how it's trained. He thought it was trained off of music theory. Like somehow they're feeding the computer music theory and then it's
which would be different, but that's not what's happening.
But that's not how it works. That's not how AI works.
And that's what I'm saying. Then how dare you not know how it works, but then double down, be disrespectful, and I almost said a different word, but just be fucked up about this.
Well, like, that's the money.
You don't know. You can't tell me. You must know something. You can't feign ignorance on one hand, but then on the other hand, you telling me, oh, I don't know shit. Go make some money. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, which one is it?
That nigga knows the size of that check.
You know exactly what you're doing.
That Sonos paid him.
That. You don't give a fuck. I am a realist. Tell me you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Tell me that so I know where we stand. Stand on your own bullshit, and I'm with that. Because now I know who you are. I don't have no problem with that.
And this is my issue, like whenever someone brings up using AI to me in that nature, is that it will never allow for the creation of a new Timbaland. Because all it's ever going to do is take what Timbaland has done and redo that in a different way. It's never going to allow for the creation of a new, and when I say Timbaland, I mean anyone.
A new, like
Quincy Jones.
Legendary
Premier,
composer,
Michael
new legendary
Jackson,
producer, yeah.
Madonna, I don't care.
Because it's
Janis
not
Joplin,
human.
whoever the fuck you want to name. It's never going to make another one of these people because it will just take what has been done. This is great comic book, and I mean, this joint is so old, but it was Superman gets into this fight with this character. I mean, not Superman, Captain America. The whole Avengers get into this fight with this character, the Super Adaptoid. And the Super Adaptoid is this robot that anyone he meets, he can adapt So when he meets Captain America, boom, he instantly becomes a copy of Captain America. And then he gets Thor's hammer. And then he gets that. Eventually he's dumb powerful. And eventually by absorbing all these different people, he, like, in this fight, in these series of issues, the super adaptoid becomes like beyond their level powerful, able to shape reality at his will, do whatever he wants. So Captain America challenges him, and it's like, the problem is you can't think of anything. All you can do is copy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you can't create anything new. And he challenges him to create something new. And he can't.
Nothing new.
There's nothing new.
You're a Moku Jin. You're a copy.
Yeah. And eventually he gets him to beat him by telling him he doesn't even know what life or death is, and you need to imitate death, and the nigga dies. So, I don't know. That was kind of weird. But I just always loved the first part of it when it's like, yo, you cannot create anything new. And that stuck with me. And to this day, I do not think people understand that. It's like, you can't create new things when you use this type of stuff. You have to put your own brain. And even like the limited, the AI that are out there now, when people ask them, yo, can you create stuff? It's like, nah, we don't really understand humanity, so we can't create.
The last 2 points I wanted to make about this is just about the mindset. And I'm going to do the one side of the mindset and the other side of the mindset. So the one side of the mindset that I'm just still very much disappointed over is Swiss Beats, right? That's his Versuz collaborator. When you mentioned that live that Guru was on, but so there was the live, that live was with Tim, Swizz, Guru, and 19 Keys.
Yeah.
And Swizz was defending Timbo, and he said, it's important for Black creators to get into the AI mix since white creators are already doing it. And this is where I'm just like, here we go. Like this, once I hear the sentence start that way, I'm like, damn it, we're already on the wrong path.
Yes.
They say because all the white people in it, why can't we get in it? Again, not the right starting point. I'll explain why in a minute. I don't care how. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So this is Tim's entry point into AI, whether we like it or not, as an entry point. Swizz, however, did emphasize the need for Timbo to be transparent and inform people because even he was blindsided by the news. Y'all got to stop doing this just because, white people do it. White people. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying, why are we trying to be like that? You can do it your way as a Black person, non-Black person, person from there, person from everywhere. Sam, I am Sam. Do it your way. This is not this type of argument where you can bring that up. That's why I get upset when people say that, well, the white creators are doing it. So the white creators are thieving. So you want to be a thief too. Well, the white creators are making money off of it. I guarantee you're not going to make the money those white creators do. You know why? Because the game is rigged. And that's why I'm just like, you can't start the sentence that way. It's not the same type of argument. We're not talking about fairness. Like, for example, the white influencers gets $1,000 and the Black influencer gets $500. That's not what I'm talking about. This is not the same situation.
No, and it's like that. Like, the idea is that because they could have made the money, like, let's say with Versuz, they could have made that money they made, but it would have been a harder money making and it would have took longer. And they took the easy way and the quick check, because the longer route, eventually that shit was going to make, whatever. And they would have owned it forever. And Swizz, like,
Like, you're basically saying, well, they're disrespecting the art. Why can't we disrespect it too? That's so wild to me.
Yeah, it is. And it's like,
that's crazy.
There's this company that I've seen that they're like a merch company, and they're like, we need more Black billionaires. And I've always found an issue with that, because it's like, no, we don't need any more billionaires. Like, no one should have that kind of cake. And it does not help anyone. Like, the idea that if we had 1 billion Black billionaires suddenly, a billion Black billionaires ain't gonna happen, but you know what I mean. If we had 10 more Black billionaires, like, that money to trickle down to Negroes, it's not.
And I have to repeat again, I'm not saying that we can't do it too. You can do it too. But why do you have to do it that way?
The way they do it. That's what I mean. And that's what I mean. No one needs 1 billion. I don't mind a few mil, of course, that's great. But once you start getting into, like, how many millions do you need, fam? Like, that's when it's like, and that's that white people shit to me, is to have money to the exclusion of someone else. Like, that's never what my goal in life is ever to be. I don't get it.
Like I said, that was the side of the thinking where I'm just like, damn, man, like that. I'm like, I know you was trying to help, but that did not come off good either, Swizz. But then the other side of things where I'm fucking with that frame of thought, it actually came from Rob Markman. Rob Markley spoke at length about this, and his clip on this was brilliant. And he was just like, the one thing he said, that shit struck the biggest chord in me. He said, what problem is AI produced music solving?
No, that is like,
when he said
that goes to everything with AI, right? Because one of the, like, I saw this a quote from one of the dudes who like runs one of the biggest AI companies, and he's like, there's no use for this.
There's no use.
And he said it, and
there's could be arguably some uses, but it's not from this frame.
No, it's not in the layperson. Like, I can maybe see some, great scientists using it to solve a problem, but I don't know about that, because like today I see this Google commercial, because they're trying to push their Ask Google as an alternative to Chat GPT. And I think both of them Ask Google, just like Brat GPT. I think both of them are I posted this thing the other day when I was like, I asked Chat GPT, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck, like, I don't care. Like, but anyway, this Google commercial was this father with their son was like, how do I get my son to eat this food? And the assistant was like, he likes it when you draw smiley faces. I'm like, God damn, nigga, you just that dumb? You don't remember your fucking son? Nigga, like, what the fuck were people doing for thousands of years before they had this thing? Like you said, what problem is it solving? Not one that you couldn't solve your fucking self. You're a terrible father. Person in this commercial.
and Rob continued. What problem is being solved? Like, what problem?
No,
is
that's
music? Like he was like, there's no shortage. Like, there's like right now the barriers of entry. Not to say, and the barriers of entry are different than the barriers of success. Let's be very real. Barriers of entry meaning anyone could produce a song, anyone can release a song, anyone can get it on a DSP. Literally anyone, right? And that does, again, access does not equal success. That's understood.
No, and that's like,
but he was just like, there's all those barriers are down. There are countless songwriters. There are countless music makers. There are countless artists of every sort, writers, instruments, all sorts of shit in real life made by humans. So what do you need to turn to an AI for is essentially what his statement was, what Rob was talking about. And I was just, when he said that shit about what is the problem, and I could not think of the fucking problem.
And it's like, because it goes to something that I realize is that a lot of the people who are proponents of AI are of the conservative ilk, I will say, because conservative people don't believe that anyone has ever been oppressed, for the most part, right? They don't, get up on your own bootstraps, etc. And music and art comes out of oppression, like that's the majority of art comes out of pain and feeling it. So if you don't believe in that, you don't believe that, the basis of making art. If you don't believe that people are oppressed, you're not going to believe that they made songs to reflect this oppression. And so they want to, because of that, they're believing like you gatekeeping by having talent is what they believe. So they're like, well, I can, take that talent and now I can make the songs. And it's just like, you're missing the whole point. And like Rob said, it's like the joy is in the creation. Like I saw this one AI dude was talking about, no one likes making music.
Nigga, you don't like making music.
I'm like, you don't, nigga.
You don't speak for me.
I'll never forget one day I was sitting there producing a beat and I was like, yo, this is my favorite video game. You know what I mean? Like, this is now my favorite video game. Like, it's not a game, but that's how I felt about it. It's like, I'm sitting at my computer and instead of playing, Overwatch or whatever, I'm making this beat. I'm like, this is the best fun I can have. And that's something else. Like, I made a video today talking about, I just released a new song on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, etc. BitDJEnergy.com. Please go over there, leave your email and all that. And I was talking about how I don't, it's like, it's stressful, like releasing music more so than it is making it for me. Because it's like the idea of that right now there's like 20,000 songs a day being uploaded to SoundCloud. And there's, AI people making songs and Timbaland over here pushing the AI artists. But like at the same time, I so enjoy the action of making the music that I'm going to continue to do it. And I want people to hear what I've done. So I'm going to continue to release it and just figure out ways to get people to hear it, as much as I can. So I just don't understand that idea. Like when I read that about that dude, when he was like, people don't enjoy music. I'm like, no. Soulless brain dead people like you don't enjoy making music. And like you said, Tatiana, it's like the barriers are so low. You know, like I always tell people, anyone, you know, can learn to DJ these days. It's so much easier than it was when I first started. Music is so much easier than, I mean, it becomes easier every day. So I'm like, if you don't enjoy it, what it is to make music nowadays, then you shouldn't be doing it. You don't
like it. And I don't know, maybe people think it is. It's not. Like, if it doesn't, if that's not your natural talent and it's something you have to learn, find joy in the learning. Like, that's what I do. It should be hard. That's part of the process. That's literally how we as humans learn. It doesn't make sense at first. When you was a child, the idea of walking was foreign as fuck. Left and right, nigga, what? But some of us figured it out, right?
Yeah, and it's so weird to me because it's like I don't know, people I don't want to call them lazy, but I feel like they're not getting how great the journey is, right? Like, over the time that I've started learning to produce music, and I've been DJing forever, you know what I mean? But just over the time that I've learned to produce music and now learning to mix music and engineer music, I hear music so differently now. And that's so cool to me because it's like my ears had to be trained to do that, even though they've been trained as a DJ all these years. Because I learned to hear music in a completely different way when I started DJing. But now it's like I hear music in a other different way. And it's like, if I told a computer to make these beats, that would have never happened.
Everything you do in this life as a human being is learned. The most mundane thing, including typing on your phone, you didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
When you making a text message, it's the most mundane action that a lot of people just be like, it's whatever. But it required learning. And there was a time when you were too little or just wasn't clicking for you, where it didn't make any sense. Just like with being able to read, it just little kid looks at a little piece of paper and they're like, what the fuck is that? Right? Looks like Simlish. Who the hell knows what that is? Right? But it required constant learning. It required assistance. It required, like you said, the joy of the journey. And yes, the journey wasn't always joyful. The tears came along with it, but it's just like that idea that maybe people want those short. They don't want the pain. They just want to get to the end goal. But y'all do know the end goal don't mean money, right? Because that might not happen either. Then what? The end goal don't mean you're a successful DJ or you're a successful artist. Like, you could still be in the trench with everybody else with your stolen music. And understand, like, it's wild to me. It's just, and it's not so much.
You will be in the trenches with your stolen music.
And I'm going to even give it to them. It's not so much the aspect of like just trying the AI anyway. It's the attitude behind it. Like, fuck you, I'm going to do this anyway. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what gets me. I'm just like, damn, so you don't even want to listen?
I mean, it was
what the original creator had to say about it.
Yeah, to me, it was just like from the jump. Like I say, I've long since written off Tim and Swiss as pure capitalists. But when he made the announcement talking about I've invented a new genre of music, I mean, genre is like the dumbest bullshit in the world, first of all. And the audacity to be like, or he said, I'm not producing songs anymore. I'm producing stories and systems. Like, niggas.
And
take the fuck out your mouth. You know what I mean? I'm talking about your own, you know, because like, let's not suck, let's not start sucking our own dick.
I'm gonna end this with something a little lighter. and this is not exactly what is meant by this phrase, but you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
Not exactly what was meant by that, but this is.
Oh no, it was.
It
was 100%. That's 100% what that phrase means. It don't just apply to to punching criminals.
No. What I mean by that is another take on that phrase is that like you're constantly doing good that the people turn on you. Like,
oh, true.
That's what I'm saying. There's another take.
Yeah, but that's the wrong take.
Phrase.
That ain't the right take.
The take is you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, my nigga, and you.
That's the take that villains take. That's the take the villains take. When they're like, that's just hating on me. That's the take he would take.
Hating on me. No, we're not hating. You're being the villain right now.
No, you're being the villain.
Do not agree. And my niggas was trying to tell you in the chat. Chat was trying to tell you. Please don't ruin your legacy on this shit, bro.
But that's the thing. Like I said, again, we should have been known. He did trifling shit with Aaliyah's legacy. He did super trifling shit with Biggie with AI that people quick to forget, and Guru called his ass.
I don't even know what you talk.
See what I mean?
Don't even tell me. I don't even know that shit happened. I don't even want to hear
This
it.
nigga was on his IG and dropped a song that I guess he made a beat. Now who even knows? But he had an AI Biggie rapping over it. And at one point, Biggie said, "What did he say?" Oh my God, it was so terrible. It was like a current phrase, like
period. Did he say period?
No, it was like what's the feels like? Oh God. I remember me and Ty the robot were both like, what the fuck? It was some current
shout out
phrase.
To Ty.
Yeah, shout out to Ty. It was some current phrase that Biggie said where it was just like, it was like him saying
like some
period.
Gen Z shit.
Yeah, it was like him saying period, and it was like,
or using current AAVE, and it's just like, you weren't around for that.
Nigga, you dead. You been dead. Like, no disrespect, but you been dead, bro. You know what I mean? Like, no. And Tim was like, and what really hurt me the most was when he was like, I never got to work with Biggie, and now I have. No, you didn't. Like, no, you didn't. That's what everybody said in the comments, and obviously, he did not care because he continued down this path, and that check cleared, and onward.
I'm just giving Timbo the Leonardo DiCaprio squint, from Inception when he's just looking at his man's like that's the squint I'm giving him right now.
I'm giving him the onward hope. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my goodness.
And I mean that, onward hope.
Oh my God.
Because
Ben, did you have anything else? Shit.
No. I think it's throwing my man a hole.
Oh my God.
I mean, look, man, God damn it. It hurts. Like, it hurts because I love this nigga like that. Like, that nigga took Devo and made that tweet song. Like, the way he flipped that Devo shit in the tweet, It's like, God, this nigga's insane.
Yeah. It's sad. This is sad.
As a producer, it's like, God damn. Whenever I see these niggas who flip samples like that, I'm just like, God damn, because I don't flip like that. Like, I do my little thing, but these niggas is different. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, bruh. And how you doing this? Like, you found joy in making that music, bro, and you gonna take...
Not like this.
Like, Guru told me the story of how, shout out to young Guru, when he came to the studio and made the whole La Jovito beat in front of him in like 20 minutes or some, 30 minutes, that whole joint, like, because Jay didn't want no old beats for that album, so he made that shit right there. Like, everyone's seen that video when he plays Jay all those beats, like he plays when the Ludacris took that beat, the Potion beat, he played him that, and he plays Dirt Off Your Shoulder. Like,
I feel like we're mourning somebody already.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is. Because, it's like niggas die every day, niggas die in different ways. Like, this shit is terrible.
Well, what's not terrible is this show. We have to end it though, Ben.
Yeah, we do.
We do. I want to thank everybody for listening. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you have done to support us, including watch this, including comment, including hate, whatever it was, you were here. So it matters. I'm still here. In the words of Tisha Campbell. So make sure you do a few things. Make sure you're following us on the YouTubes, youtube.com/ForAllNerds
I did not understand that reference.
You don't worry. The chat will. Make sure you're following us For All Nerds, ForAllNerds on every social media platform. Make sure you're following me, Tatiana King, and him, DJ Benhameen. Make sure also, if you liked what you heard, or maybe you just want to hate and still show your support in a really weird, parasocial way, that's fine. Go to ForAllNerds.com, and what you can do is purchase a t-shirt like the one I'm wearing now, this Cowboy Carter / Cowboy Bebop crossover. Benhameen is wearing the AAPI month specialty shirt. Shang-Chi, who else is on there? Cindy Moon, Kamala Khan. Everybody on that hoe. Okay?
Oh, we was early because I wasn't even sure we had her on here. We had Pearl.
Yeah, Pearl. We was early with Pearl. We've been celebrating Pearl.
Big up to Pearl on there. I wasn't even sure. We ahead of the game.
No, we've been had her.
Like, we made this shirt well before the neighborhood show came out.
These designs, the Gucci Mandalorian, the Lionel Richie shouts. And I'm telling y'all, please, 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 if you see our designs anywhere else, do not purchase them. You can only find our designs through ForAllNerds.com. You have to come to our site first, and that's how you're going to find all the shirts and all the designs we talk about and that you see up in the streets. If you see our shit anywhere else, snitch. Tell us. Tell me. Help me, nigga. Tell me so we can deal with it. But more importantly, if you say nothing about it, do not buy from those people, okay, guys? ForAllNerds.com, because we got bootleggers like crazy. So please. That means our shit is fire. So that means our shit is butter. So please, ForAllNerds.com. And also, thank you to the financial fam, as I call y'all, the people on Patreon, patreon.com/ForAllNerds. We love you. We appreciate you. And really, y'all are one of the main engines for this show. So we can produce and do cool, edits and all this other stuff. We appreciate you. But I mean, did I forget anything else?
Make sure you go over to, like you said, ForAllNerds.com, as well as BidDJEnergy.com. That's my personal website. Please leave an email over there if you want some free music. I am working on releasing, I don't know about a song a week. It feels trifling to do a song a week, but maybe we'll see. I feel like they're worth more than a week, but people also want that good. They want that crap. So, and I got a lot of music, so I'm going to be dropping it. So BidDJEnergy.com, leave your email over there and I will be dropping it. Just release one. And if you put your email in soon, I'll send you that one as well as a bunch of other stuff that I've already released. So you get it there first. And make sure you for real tune in for our Ironheart review, which will be dropping before we drop another, one of these shows. So make sure you get that special episode on Ironheart coming very soon. Very excited to talk about it. We'll be back next week. Peace.
Hey, what's up, internets and the fam? This is Tatiana King for ForAllNerds, and I want to thank you so much for listening and watching to ForAllNerds. Make sure you like and subscribe to us only on YouTube.
For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/ForAllNerds.